Hey everybody! Wednesday, you ready to say hi to everybody? You ready to say hi to everybody? Huh? She just woke up from a nap, which means she's probably going to be a psychopath pretty soon. Oh, she's going to sit on my shoulder like a parrot. Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room, everybody. It's 8:30. Every night at 8:30, we meet right here on my Facebook page, and we get together as a family, as a community, to support each other, to be a support group and a counselor and a bartender, all of the above. And basically, what do you think, Wednesday? Huh? Basically, we just get together every night to congratulate each other for making it through a whole other day. So here we all are. It's Sunday, just in case you were wondering. April 26th, congratulations, you made it through another day. My co-host, Wednesday, just woke up from a fourth nap of the day, and she seems slightly unimpressed by everything we got going on. Wednesday, say hi to everybody. I know you can talk. Stop faking. What's going on? She's a little sleepy and a little needy for love and companionship, so she's going to chill out with me today. Right? Right? You like that spot? Is that a good spot? Yeah? Oh, that's a good spot right there. Goodbye to your pillows, Eric says. Yep, exactly. Hey, Trisha, what's going on? What's up, Mike? Hey, Erica. Hey, Steve. Hey, Wayne. Wednesday, say hi to Wayne. What about Kitty? Will you say hi to Kitty? Elsa says today is my niece's second birthday. Wednesday, say happy birthday to Elsa's 2-year-old niece. No? What are you doing right now? That's a pug butthole in my face. Do you want to sit on my lap? Do you just want to come up here and snuggle with me? Come here. Come on, just come and snuggle with me. It's okay. I know. You just want to snuggle. It's a rainy Sunday. That's like, who doesn't want to have a pug on their lap right now? What's going on, Dave? She just wants to sit on my lap. That's what you're supposed to do today. I lit the wood stove today and hung out with Wednesday. I did leave the house today for a brief errand. Wednesday, do you want your friggin' stingray? Yeah, of course you do. I did leave the house today for a very special errand. Drum roll, please. Guess what I got? Thank you to my buddy Fernandez, because we had a secret rendezvous where he dropped off a package. Fernandez's sangria. Oh. It's so good. It makes me so happy. The only thing... Oh, really, Wednesday? What are you doing? You want your stingray? Do you want the stingray? You're going to start making everybody's animals freak out that's watching this right now. It makes a rainy Sunday so much better. I'm not talking about pugs and stingrays. I'm talking about Fernandez's sangria. So I left the house for a little while, got my sangria. I allowed myself to go through the drive-thru at Dunkin' Donuts and got an iced coffee, which always makes me feel a little bit normal. When I was driving back, there was friggin' sleet hitting the windshield of my car. What the F? Diane wants to know if it's pre-made or homemade. Please, Fernandez only makes homemade sangria. It's his recipe. It's delicious. It's perfect. It's amazing. And I have to bust out the skull mug when I drink Fernandez's sangria. It's so good. Tony wants to know, what is better, Fernandez's sangria or Moscow Mules? Totally different. Totally different experience, totally different buzz, totally different everything. Do you want to... Did you see how she just faked me out? Do you want me to take that? Do you want to play tug of war? Or do you want me to throw it for you? What do you want to do Wednesday? I told you she just woke up from a nap. I have a feeling we're going to have a very hyperactive and awake black pug in about 10 minutes. What are you doing? Okay, show everybody how you drop it. Nope, drop it. Wednesday. I swear she drops it when I tell her to so I can throw it. Hey. Ready? There she goes. Yes, there was friggin' sleet hitting my windshield coming back from picking up my delicious sangria. Becky, the recipe was given out, I don't know, a couple weeks ago now, so somebody's got to have it. Just post it up here. Fernandez gave it to me. If I had invented this sangria recipe, I would have held it as a closely guarded family secret and put armed guards outside the safe, but he gave it to me, and I gave it to all of you guys, so somebody has it written down and just post it. Johnny Hollywood! Hey! What's going on, Johnny? Yeah, she is charged up. Everybody's looking at the pug right now because she's starting to lose. Hey, don't you bite that. Go get your toy. Wednesday. Hey, don't you eat that. Ooh, she's wound up tonight. Go get the stingray. See the stingray sitting on the end of the couch over there? Get the stingray and bring it over here and I'll throw it for you. So that was the excitement of my day. I picked up sangria. I stopped at Dunk's. I saw sleet on the windshield, and then I came home. Somebody asked how my garden's doing. The garden's doing okay. The only thing I planted in there so far has been peas and spinach. The seeds are in there. They haven't spreaded through the ground yet. But sorry, Kathy says the friggin' stingray is driving my dog nuts. I apologize. But I haven't obviously planted any plants in the garden yet. I mean, we had sleet today. Today's the 26th day of April, and it was sleeting this afternoon. So I won't plant anything major in the garden until... Go ahead. Show everybody what you got. Until sometime in May. I did get my bark mulch delivered yesterday in a giant dump truck. So, hey, Gina. Okay, thank you. You ready to go get it? I can't throw the stingray far enough away. Even my old javelin throwing arm from high school can't get that thing far enough away, and she's about to come prancing. Can you hear her in there? So that was the extent of my day. Like, I got bark mulch yesterday. Today, I went to Dunkin' Donuts. Like, crazy life I'm leading right now. Earlier tonight, about 7:15, I was on Instagram Live with Stiz, and it's the first time I've seen him since before AAF went off the air, because he was in Vegas at another one of the big title fights when AAF had its last couple of days, so he wasn't even there to help say goodbye. So I really haven't seen him, so it was great. We went on Instagram Live. If you missed it, it's up in my Instagram story. Mistress Carrie WAF on Instagram if you want to find that. And then, obviously, if you're on Instagram, you can also check out Wednesday the Goth Pug is her handle as well. And you can try and keep tabs of all of her adventures. I know, coming up on Friday is May 1st, and it is just... Paula says, snow tonight, I heard. Really? Like, can we just not? William says they say we might have flakes by the time it's done early tomorrow morning. I just can't. With, like, 2020, my friend Ed the other day sent a really funny meme about eating a satchel of Richards. And that is exactly what 2020 can do. Eat a giant satchel of Richards. Enjoy. Yes, you missed Stiz, William, but it's up in my Instagram story if you want to check it out. What's up, Jimmy from Holyoke? I believe next week the stand that I bought for Cocktails in the War Room so I can free up one hand is coming in, so that I'll be able to like mount the phone and be able to talk to you guys with both of my hands. A lot of people asking about the shirt. I went 90s, Alice in Chains. And I started thinking about like some of the awesome things that we did with those guys. Like, you know, when Jerry Cantrell's solo albums came out after Lane Staley died, we did some amazing in-stores with Jerry Cantrell. We gave away Alice in Chains to play in someone's backyard. I believe that was in 2009, and that was amazing. It was so cool to have Alice in Chains be the band at your pool party, which was amazing. So they're just, I remember hearing Man in the Box for the first time I was in college, and I was just like, holy crap, like being such a huge fan of like rock and roll and metal in the 80s, and a lot of it was so fun and like the soundtrack of like parties and stuff. And then you heard Alice in Chains, and it wasn't just, you know, somber, but it was heavy as fuck and somber, and Lane Staley's voice was just one of those epic classic voices that as soon as you heard it, you knew exactly who it was. And that is one of the makings of a really true, timeless, great rock band, is that you hear the instruments, and I mean vocals as an instrument too, that all of the instruments have their own distinct sound. So like, you know Tool because you know Maynard's voice, but you know what the guitar sounds like. You know what the bass sounds like. You know what the drums sound like. You know it's Zeppelin because you know what the drums sound like, and you know what the guitars sound like. And Alice in Chains was one of those bands that like, the guitar was just so dirty and heavy. And then you heard Lane's voice, and it was just like, where did that come from? And, you know, I think the great bands that really stand the test of time, if you dissect them and you go, okay, the singer and the guitar player and the drummer and the bass player and the other guitar player, or whoever all of the parts are, when you listen to those parts individually, they have their own, like think about Slash's tone on his guitar. It's like, it's Slash. You hear Axl, you know it's Axl. Same thing with Metallica. It's like those great bands, you can pull all the pieces apart and they're great individually, but when you put them all together, they make something together that is unlike everything else. And I think Alice in Chains is just a huge example of that, and such a loss for just rock and roll in general when we lost Lane Staley. And I mean, obviously since Lane has been gone, even with Jerry Cantrell's solo albums, like you really did hear, and I don't think he got as much credit when Alice in Chains was together with its original lineup, exactly how much influence Jerry Cantrell had over the overall sound of Alice in Chains, because people talk so much about Lane Staley's vocals, but the harmonies, and he took so much, you know, he was so much part of the writing, and his guitar tone and all of that, like so much of the iconic sound of Alice in Chains can be credited back to Jerry Cantrell as well. And he's just such a sweet guy, such a nice guy. You know, everybody that's ever toured with him just talks about how amazing of a guy he is, super humble and influential and just awesome. Yes, Charles, I am speaking the truth. Hell yeah. Roberto says, my connection is bad. By the way, it's downpouring here, so it's pouring where he is. I'm hoping that this rain doesn't turn into snow later, because I just can't even deal. Speaking of grunge, did you guys have a chance to check out that Post Malone Nirvana performance from the other night? It was kind of good. Like, it was kind of really good. And raised millions of dollars for charity, which is also amazing. So, Tony says, fuck it, you don't care about us? Wait, what does that mean? Tony, did I miss a message? These messages, I only get them on half my screen and they go really fast. So Tony, if you're yelling at me that I don't care about you for some reason, I missed whatever message you posted first. So stop yelling at me and just tell me what's going on. William said, I just realized I said butt shell instead of nutshell in my previous message. It's okay. Autocorrect does some weird ass shit sometimes. I don't know how many times I've been ducking pissed off when I've been texting, and so many other things that it just changes on me. Mark says, thank you very much for giving me something to do every night at 8:30. You are the bomb. Well, I've thanked you guys every night for hanging out with me. You guys really are aiding in my sanity as well. You give me something to look forward to. I credit you with being the reason why I take a shower every day. May or may not be wearing pants every day, but at least I'm bathing, which is half the battle, I think. But just giving me a reason to giving me something to focus on every night, giving me a place where I can come and talk about what's bothering me and answering questions that I have. And also, I think part of what the hard part is for people that aren't necessarily considered essential workers is that we feel like we don't have a place. We feel useless, that like there isn't something that we can do. How can we be of service? Because it's our job to kind of stay out of the way. So, you guys are giving me a purpose in a way, but also you guys, I'm hoping that I'm giving you guys the same thing, that we can all, be there together. Will says bathing is overrated. What is that drink? Drinking around the bonfire. Jim, it's Fernandez's sangria. It makes me so happy. It's freaking delicious. So I'm just super grateful that, we're just all here for each other. And I know that, some people may not understand. We talked about it the other night. You guys were amazing, answering kind of all of my questions. Jan says, do you need an intern? I need a job. First of all, Jan, I'm not getting paid. So if I had an intern, which would be hard with social distancing, I wouldn't be able to pay you anyway. Let me see. Paul says, Kate Carey, sorry I'm late. No worries, Paul. Anytime. Doors open. Here you are. But it's just really nice. Like if I have questions about stuff, and there are so many differing opinions. I was talking to Stiz about this a little while ago when we were on Instagram Live. And it's like, I refuse to, just like, I'm so heartbroken at the way that we're not coming together as a country right now. It makes me sad that even a global pandemic is being polarized and politicized right now. I feel like anyone that was an adult when 9/11 happened, you remember how amazing it was to be an American on September 12th, and that the country was scared and we felt vulnerable, and it affected our economy, and so much went wrong so quickly. And gears changed. I mean, everybody knew that we were going to go to war over this at some point, and our financial future was uncertain, albeit for a shorter amount of time. But I just remember what it was like, that everyone joined together, and it made you feel secure, and it made you proud that Americans were all standing together, no matter what your political affiliation, if you were young or old, it didn't matter what your creed was or what color you were. It was that we were being attacked by an outside force, and we knew that we had to stand together to be strong enough to fight back. And I long for that feeling, and I wish there was more of that right now. And I feel like everybody that is in the war room with me every night, we don't have to agree on everything, and we don't have to, see eye to eye on everything. But what we have here in this little community that we've built online is a mutual respect, that there aren't people just having these ridiculous political debates in the comments and name calling each other, and, like so many people do on Twitter, and you scroll through the comments, and it doesn't matter what news feed you go to, you can find a debate, a name calling, and watch our country be splintered in so many other places. And part of what I think makes this whole situation special is that you're not seeing that here. And I don't know what the difference is. I don't know if it's because we're all like-minded somehow. I don't know if it's as if we're all outsiders, or we feel like we're all outsiders, and that's what made WAAF a family. I don't know if it's the music we have in common. I don't know if it's a mindset we have in common. I don't know if we're just more accepting, but I just feel like, yeah, Mickey, you're right. No bot zone here. Like we're all just here kind of looking for like a solution. Like David said, blame China, ? Like you guys are starting to get, like what I'm trying to do here is ask more questions than provide answers, because I am not the smartest mind in the room. Like, we have the smartest people that are supposed to be working on solutions for this stuff. I'm just here kind of asking why we all can't, not why can't we all get along, but why we can't all join together to fight a common enemy. Like, what's that saying that my greatest friend is who hates my enemy? Or I don't know what that, Paul says, I know it's common sense. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's what it is. You know, I just feel like all of us here are the majority and not the minority, that we're kind of all wanting to get back to work, but having empathy at the same time. And I think we need to be able to do both. And I think in some cases there's a lack of empathy. And in other cases, you know, there are people that don't understand how hard it is to watch a business owner lose everything they've spent their entire life building. And if there's anyone that can empathize with that, you know, for obviously different reasons, you know, walking out the door at, you know, of WAF after 29 years, even though it wasn't my company and I didn't own the radio station, I understand what the feeling is to lose everything you've spent your whole life building. Like, I get it. But then at the same time, having the empathy to say, but I understand people are sick, and I understand that people are hurting and people are scared. And, you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Thank you, David. I knew that the phrase was there, and you know what I meant. I just couldn't come up with the exact quote. But yes, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Exactly. So I just wish that we could see the virus as the enemy, and therefore the polarizing sides of our political debate would focus on a common enemy for a while. I realize that it won't stay like that forever, but in the immediate future, it would be really nice if we could just kind of figure this all out. And there are days where, you know, you watch too much TV and you realize that's kind of impossible. Although I get more upset, the same with you guys, I get more disheartened on the internet than I do watching television. I really, because I feel like when you're watching any news, it doesn't matter if it's Fox or MSNBC or CNN or NBC, CBS, ABC, like, I don't care what you're watching, but I feel like the venom that's coming out of the comments of the people online and the way they're attacking their fellow Americans in the comments, and it just, I don't know, it just, that almost bothers me more. And especially when I'm on like music sites or reading like the Twitter feeds of like artists that I love or whatever, and then I just watch it like just get sucked into the gutter and into insults and whatever. It's like, I can't, it's just, it makes me so sad. And so there are times where, Lou, this is exactly what I'm talking about, Lou. Your comment is exactly what I'm talking about. United we stand, divided we fall. Like, imagine right now if you were an enemy of the United States, and how awesome and gratifying it must be to watch us tear ourselves apart at the seams. I just feel like we should all be focused on opening the country back up while simultaneously focusing on keeping everyone healthy and having empathy for those that are either old, immunocompromised, scared. I mean, there's room in the pool for everyone. You know, fear is the same whether you're afraid of losing your business or you're afraid of getting a virus and dying. It's the same fear. And I think every American right now is lashing out, and the common denominator in it all is fear. And we just have to all, can we just take a breath? And if everyone could just say, I'm afraid, what you're afraid of after the fact can be different in every case, but everyone is acting out of fear right now. You know, Ron, you're right. Insults are the last bastion of those losing an argument. There you go. Serenity is good. You know, Jessica says we need another September 12th. Like, obviously no one would ever wish for another September 11th. But I yearn for what it was like on the 12th. Like, I have such vivid memories of being at the radio station and listening to how selfless people were and how gracious and empathetic and galvanized and strong and just, it was an amazing and magical place to be in the United States on September 12th, 2001. And I just want us to focus on that. And I feel like the whole reason why I started talking about it isn't to preach to you, but is to praise you, because I feel like we have that here. And I feel like this hour or whatever that we spend together every night makes it gives me a sense, even in a small way, that we can get through this together. Differing people, men, women, old, young, Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, liberals, we're all in here. There are plenty of, conservative people in here. There are plenty of Democratic people in here. And I think one of the things that joins this fabric that we all have is our love of music. I think another thing is our shared lifestyle. And because we love the music, we've always been open to people that are different from us, because we've always been the outcasts in a way. But I also think that there's a patriotism here, and there is a yearning for togetherness here and looking for a positive community. And I really feel like it's like you guys renew my faith in humanity and give me hope for the future, because we come here every night and we talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Safe word, blueberry cobbler. Ah! But we have this place that we can make dick jokes one minute, blowjob jokes the next minute, and then talk about serious stuff the next minute, and we can agree and disagree. But at the end of the day, we're all giving each other the mutual respect, because we all showed up in the same place at the same time. And we agree that we're not going to, well, first of all, if you guys started getting all political and name calling and shit, I would kick you out of here, because this here isn't a democracy. I'm the fucking queen of this little universe we got going on. But I wouldn't tolerate it. But then again, we haven't had that problem. We haven't had that problem for as long as I've had this Facebook page up, long before. I think I can remember very few instances in the whole time that the Mistress Carrie page has been up on Facebook where it's gotten so bad that I either blocked people off of it or thought about deleting it. There's really only a few. I think the worst one ever was the day I took a picture with Elizabeth Warren, and I was threatened with murder and rape. And that day, gave me a fear that we weren't going to be okay. And it was, I've talked about it in the past, but it was a few years ago. It was in our old studio, so it was definitely 3 or 4 years ago. And the RKO studios were down the hall. And there was a veterans show that was hosted by a Vietnam, Desert Storm, and post 9/11. There were 3 veterans from 3 different eras, and they hosted this show. And they would have guests all the time, military leaders, community leaders, politicians, and they recorded every week. And they had to walk by my studio to record, and then they would walk by my studio again. And all of the guys that hosted the show were amazing. And they always used to bring their guest in to say hello to me, and it was amazing. And one day they brought Elizabeth Warren in to talk about some veterans legislation that she was working on and to answer their questions, which I thought, you can have whatever opinion you have about her, but when a group of veterans asks a politician to come in and answer their questions, and they do it, that's their job. You're a politician, you're supposed to answer your constituents, and especially when you're drafting veterans legislation, answering the questions of veterans, that's your job. And so they walked her by the studio, and they brought her into the studio and introduced her to me, and introduced me as being someone that had been embedded with troops. And I literally spoke to her for, 15 or 20 seconds. And I said, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and talk to these guys and answer their questions. Please do everything you can to support our veterans. That's literally what I said to her. I shook her hand. And then the guys that hosted the show said, would you like to get a picture? Now, you look at Elizabeth Warren, whatever your opinion of her is, and you look at me, it's like a photo negative. It's the odd couple. And in my head, I'm going, this is going to be a funny as fuck picture of me standing next to like the school marm, right? So I take the picture with her. She leaves. The veterans all leave. I put the picture up, like joking, like the new odd couple or like whatever. And I was immediately eviscerated for even taking the picture. People were commenting, asking why I didn't punch her in the mouth. People were asking why I didn't push her down the stairs. People were saying the fact that I even took a picture with her, that they lost credibility for me, that all the work I had done with veterans was erased, that they would never listen to me again. Then the comments got really bad and people were talking about raping me and killing me. And I mean, it got crazy. Within 24 hours, it got crazy. The next day, I was driving into the studio listening to Hillman, and people were calling Hillman live, like raking me over the coals, screaming. And I was like, okay, whatever political opinion you have, whatever stance you have, she is, in fact, a senator that represents the state of which I am a constituent. Whether I voted for her or not, she's one of our senators. She's also on the Armed Services Committee, which means that all the work I do with the military and veterans, she is in a distinct position of power. Again, whether you like her or not, it doesn't serve me well or the veterans in Massachusetts well if I don't try to have some kind of a friendly rapport, because it's one of the things that makes me get out of bed in the morning is working towards veterans causes and advocating for our veterans and all of those things. And I was heartbroken. And watching the comments, I mean, I got a message from the Adjutant General of the Massachusetts National Guard, who was with the State Sergeant Major, and they were at the Pentagon and heard about what the comments were saying on my Facebook page. And they reached out to me privately and were asking if I was okay, if I was afraid, if I needed protection because of what was going on. And everybody's asking like, wait, how did I miss this? Whatever. Because I didn't want to throw gas on the fire by talking about it very much. I went on the air and I said all the words that I could say within the confines of FCC regulations. But I was so hurt and disheartened and just like for someone to say all the work you've done for veterans over the years erased because you took a picture with a politician that was elected in the state where I pay my taxes at the invitation of 3 decorated veterans from 3 different conflicts from my state that I'm friends with. I was just like, fuck this. I almost deleted my page. And then watching people go after the people that were going after me, that's one of the worst days I remember. And I was going to block a bunch of people. I was going to delete the photo. You can find the picture in one of my photo galleries, but it just made me so sad. This here every night in the War Room at 8:30 gives me the exact opposite feeling. I feel like we all belong. I feel like we could have a discourse here. I feel like we could talk about important things here. I feel like we could debate an issue without anger, realizing that the 2 people on opposite sides of the issue were interested in a common goal here. And it makes me curious as to what it is that we have that's special amongst all of us, that the greater common consciousness and community of the country doesn't have. Like, what are those assholes missing out on that we've figured out? I don't know. I don't know what that is, but I'm glad that we have it. I'm grateful for it every day. Stiz was asking, because I haven't seen him. We were just on Instagram Live together, like what I was planning on doing next, and was encouraging me to do a bunch of different things, and saying that, somebody just put Michael just put the link up to the picture, and I know a lot of the horrific fucking comments. There's thousands of comments on that picture. And you can go back and read them. And I amended the description of the photo to make sure that people knew moving forward that within 24 hours I was being threatened with rape. I think I reported 5 people to Facebook that had threatened me. I don't know whatever happened to them, but I came pretty close to reporting them to law enforcement and whatever. But I knew that it was only going to make it worse. And I was already so hurt that people that claimed to be fans of mine or fans of the radio station or whatever could be turned into such assholes so quickly, which literally a picture. Like, I didn't endorse her. I didn't say I liked her. I didn't say anything. I was just like, okay, she's an elected official in my state and she's answering the questions of veterans. And those veterans, they didn't even say that they voted for her. They didn't even say that they agreed with her. All they did was ask her about the legislation she had proposed, and she answered their questions, which is exactly what the fuck our politicians are supposed to do. And I just remember how crushed my soul felt that day. And every night when we get done here in the war room, I feel really good. I feel amazing that we all have this little break. So, I love the fact that you guys, always say thank you for being here for us every night. But I really want you guys to understand how much you guys affect my mental health and well-being, because I feel like at the end of every night, like I end my day having this conversation with you guys, and then like I feel like I took a big deep breath. You know what I mean? Like it feels good. And I hope that that's what you guys are finding here as well. I'm not starting any kind of crazy guru religion, although we have joked about the fact that I wouldn't have to pay taxes, but I just want you guys to know how much I love you and how grateful I am to have this medium, because I really wish that obviously we had the radio station as a medium, but I just, Teddy says, fuck them. It was just a picture. Like, I know, but I feel like we can have a more long-winded conversation about it now. But back when it was happening, like it felt like I was in the middle of a hornet's nest and that I was being attacked by my own, like people that were in my own tribe. It was just really strange. I had some things that I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight. 25 years ago today, the Red Sox signed Tim Wakefield, who has always been and will always be one of my favorite Red Sox of all time. I got a chance to talk to him just once, and he was amazing. I'm a huge fan of the knuckleball. I know some people hate it, but I love it. And so I wanted to cheers to Tim Wakefield for his 25th anniversary of becoming a Red Sox, because I have so many fond memories of, obviously watching him be on the mound when the Yankees beat us one year, and then watching him be part of the World Series the next year. Like 2004 was way better than 2020. I think we can all agree with that. So happy anniversary, Tim Wakefield. Tomorrow, if you're looking for some great live music online, the Struts are going to be live on their Facebook page at 1:00 performing if you want to check them out. Today is also National Pretzel Day. Let me tell you, you can find the recipe online. The hard part is finding the yeast right now, but I have a recipe for, if they could call them like mall pretzels, because people don't want to say Auntie Anne's recipe or whatever because they don't want to get sued. But you know those amazing pretzels you can get at the mall? So I have a recipe to make those, but then I have a bottle of seasoning that I got at Trader Joe's that's everything bagel seasoning. And I make these pretzels with the everything bagel seasoning on them. Oh, they're so fucking good. So today's National Pretzel Day, and I thought about making pretzels today, but I thought it was more pertinent that I go and rendezvous with Fernandez to get some of his sangria, because I thought in the grand scheme of things that was going to lighten my mood, which it totally did. So happy National Pretzel Day. And also, if today is your birthday, happy birthday. Cheers to you guys. If today is your birthday, you share your birthday with Bobby Rydell. You share it with Roger Taylor from Duran Duran. You share it with T-Boz from TLC, Joey Jordison, formerly of Slipknot and the Murder Dolls, and Jose Pasillas from Incubus. So cheers to anybody that is celebrating their birthday today. Cheers to you guys. Happy birthday. So good. So good. If you guys are into gardening, I know there's been a lot of people that have asked about gardening. I wanted to pass this information along because it will help an amazing nonprofit and it will also benefit your gardening in your yard this year. There is a horse rescue in West Brookfield, Massachusetts called Blue Star Aquaculture, and they have about 350 rescued working horses there. Unfortunately, they were supposed to close down in March because of lack of funding, that donations were down, and so they were rehoming their horses, and a lot of those horses being rehomed have been delayed because of the coronavirus. So what Blue Star Aquaculture is doing is they are selling bags of compost with the horse manure and soil and all of that, and they're selling 50-pound bags for $10. And it's amazing fertilizer for your vegetable garden or, you know, for flower beds or anything that you might be working on in your yard. And so I thought I would pass on the information because obviously they're going to be able to take this money and be able to help sustain these rescued working horses until the virus, you know, somewhat passes and they can rehome the rest of these horses. So if you're not doing anything and you're not working and you don't mind taking a ride out to West Brookfield, you can get some amazing compost for your vegetable garden or your flower gardens from Blue Star Aquaculture. So if you want to grab a pen, I have a phone number for you and an email address that you can reach out to them. Yes, Will, you can fertilize your weed with it too. Whatever it is that you're growing, vegetables, flowers, weeds, whatever you want to grow, you can fertilize it and you can help an amazing nonprofit and you can help take care of some rescued working horses. So go to Blue Star Aquaculture. Their phone number is 413-813-2000. And their email is info@equiculture.com. info@equiculture. So if one of you guys doesn't mind putting that phone number and that email address up in the comments so people can find it, 413-813-2000 or info@equiculture.com, equiculture.com. And you can get some amazing compost, help your lawn look amazing because all of our yards are going to be fucking badass by the time we're all allowed to go back to work. But you're also going to help rescued working horses, which I thought was amazing. So I am going to look into taking a ride out there myself. I haven't reached out to them yet. I saw this story about an hour before we sat down in the war room. So helping horses is the shit, Kimberly says. I see what you did there. But I was going to call him tomorrow. And it's Carol Burnett's birthday, Paul. Are you serious? Fucking A. She's a legend. Happy birthday to Carol Burnett. Dave also commented on something else I wanted to talk to you guys about. Barry Burbank is doing his last broadcast tonight. He is retiring as a meteorologist after 42 years. So I have to have respect for anyone that has had that long of a career in this amazing city of Boston that I love so much. So cheers to Barry Burbank. Amazing. 42 years. You deserve a long earned retirement. So cheers to you. Get really drunk, Barry Burbank. You deserve it. So give those guys at Blue Star Aquaculture a call and get yourself some fertilizer, and it'll help them out too. So leave some poop for me, please. All right, so just to go over some of the biz stuff, some of the more sad stuff before we get to my artifact in the war room. An update on the coronavirus. In Massachusetts, there were 54,938 cases. The percentage of people hospitalized that have been tested positive in Massachusetts is 7%. So 7%, which means, on a good note, 93% of the people that are tested positive are not hospitalized, which is amazing. But 7% of 54,938 people is almost 4,000 people hospitalized, which is a massive amount of people. There have been 168 more fatalities since yesterday. There are 1,590 new cases. In total, there are 2,899 fatalities in Massachusetts. In the United States, there are 957,016 cases at last check, and there have been 54,435 deaths. There are also hundreds of thousands of people that have been tested, and there are countless amounts of people that have recovered. We don't have those numbers, and I say this every night. I'm not trying to be a death monger that is keeping track of a death toll. We haven't gotten an antibody test where we can test to see how many people have survived it, because there are so many people that have gotten sick and recovered from it and didn't even know they had it. So as of right now, to judge the progress and the progression of the virus, we have to keep track of the metrics that we have that we can keep track of, and that is confirmed cases, new cases day to day, and unfortunately, new deaths. There have been 236,100 people tested in Massachusetts, with 54,938 confirmed cases. So obviously, they've tested a lot of people that thankfully have come up negative, which is awesome. So it's still hard. It's still really tough for everybody, and I know that it's difficult to stay positive. But the numbers, while they're depressing, also tell us that there is an amazing survival rate and the relatively low in comparison hospitalization rate. So, you know, there are a lot of people that are recovering from this, and thankfully there are a lot of people that have been symptomatic and get a test and find out they didn't have it in the first place, which is awesome. David said, have you checked out apan.org? No, but I know you commented about that before, and I didn't write it down, and I went looking for it in the comments and couldn't find it. So I'm writing it down now, and I will go and look at it later. Thank you for reminding me, David. I will go and check that. Roughly 87% survival. Yeah, like, it's amazing. And look, I'm looking for any good news I can find right now. Brianna says UMass is doing antibody research, and you can all be a part of it. So go to UMass's website, and I know they have all that information. Also, don't forget, donate blood. You know what's really cool? The American Red Cross's app, the blood donation app, because they have a couple different apps, but the blood donation app, you go in there, you register. I'm a donor, a previous donor, because of all the AAF blood drives we've had over the years. But I downloaded the app. The app does a bunch of different cool things. Obviously, you can keep track of all your donations on there, how many pints you've donated, all of that. You can make donation appointments through the app. It gives you cool filters so you can take selfies when you're donating. But the other cool thing that the app does is that it allows you to follow the journey of your donation. So it tells you, okay, your blood is being tested. Okay, I got the hiccups. Your blood is here, your blood is here, your blood is here. And my blood, the blood I donated a couple of weeks ago is, hiccups, is just at the point now where it is in the blood bank. Why can't I stop hiccuping? So my blood is hitting the blood banks right now, which is awesome. And it's really cool that you can log into the app and you can follow the journey of your own blood donation, which is pretty cool. Don't get discouraged if you go on there and you see that the waiting list for donating blood is weeks long. Part of that is obviously they only have access to so much PPE. It's also that they have volunteers and they can only have so much staff, but it's also based on the fact that they can only have so many people at the facility at one time, including the people that work there. So go on there, find a donation spot that's near you, and even if you have to wait a few weeks, blood donations only last so long. There are still people that are going through chemotherapy, people that are having accidents, people that are having emergency surgeries that are going to be in need of blood and blood products, and they desperately need your donations. So don't forget that they need your donations, and if you are healthy and able to donate, please do that. Stephanie says, my husband asked if I had to watch you every night, and I told him, yeah, because I want to, and he does what he wants, and I don't know what the rest of your comment says because it was too long and I can't open it to see, but I can go back and watch it later. Your eyeshadow is so pretty. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I like the Domino's app for your pizza. Oh, it's like the Domino's app for your pizza. Yeah, you can track your blood like you can track your pizza. And it's just really cool. And I love kind of watching the journey of my blood donation, and that it's telling me it's being tested and now it's in the refrigerator and then it's doing this. And I just thought it was really cool. Kimberly said, after your donation, book your next one in advance, and then you can just go in. And, you know, I think for anyone that's able to donate right now, it's a really good thing. And then obviously they're asking for people that have tested positive for the coronavirus or COVID-19 that have recovered, that they need antibodies from everyone that's recovered for research, and obviously the search for a vaccine and treatments and all of that stuff. So there's a lot of good things that we can do. Okay, so my artifact from the War Room tonight, I thought you guys would get a kick out of it. For anybody that is a veteran, especially a post 9/11 veteran, this is just standard equipment for you. However, it is not standard equipment for a purple-haired radio DJ. And so I wanted to show you guys the helmet that I wore in Iraq and Afghanistan with my little WAF carry band on it that I tuck stuff into. It also has the cat eye reflectors on the back. But this was, you know, required safety equipment. That's why the description of this live feed says, are you wearing protection? Because this was my helmet. I wish I had my stand. I'm going to have it next week, so I'll be able to have two hands. But it's super heavy. I believe it's 3.5 pounds. And the weight of this is obviously without NVGs, night vision goggles, or anything else that our troops have to wear. So, like, it's a significant weight. You get giant neck muscles from wearing it all the time. This pad goes on the back to kind of keep the helmet steady. But I haven't worn it in a while. The straps are up in there and they're digging into my head. But I look like Kazoo from the Flintstones. I look ridiculous wearing this thing. But I wore the same helmet in, let me see if I can get the straps better. There you go. But this is the same helmet that I wore in Iraq and Afghanistan. I feel like a complete idiot. It's not comfortable. It's really funny wearing it with purple hair because it's just, I did put it on. You guys are yelling at me to put it on. I put it on. I feel totally dumb wearing it, but you don't feel dumb when everyone around you is wearing them. I always wondered why the ears kind of puckered out a little bit, which is a total civilian question to ask. But when you're in a convoy or in any of the vehicles or whatever, and you get a headset, it allows for the headset to go up underneath, and you get the microphone, and that way your ears have access to the comms. And that's why it's designed like that. I mean, obviously the special operators have different helmets where the ears are completely cut out and they're more low profile and they don't make you look like a penis, which is kind of how I feel like I look right now. No disrespect to our troops that wear these all the time. I'm just saying I feel like Kazoo or like a giant penis wearing this thing, but it's very heavy. But I love this helmet because it brings back so many, oh, now I have helmet head. It just brings back so many memories, and one of the best memories that I have, I brought the picture down. I keep it framed on the shelf in the War Room. This picture was taken in September of 2006 in the parade grounds in Baghdad. There were some very famous photos of Saddam Hussein reviewing up on a bandstand, like a podium thing, reviewing the Republican Guard as they did military parades, and he was firing off guns into the sky. Anyone that was deployed in Iraq went to the parade grounds where the crossed swords were, and I went on a convoy there in 2006, and there's a couple of memories that I have of it. First of all, just wearing all the gear and taking photos in front of these iconic places that were so newsworthy, places that I had seen on TV in war footage, and then I found myself standing there. One of the other memories is that it was one of the hottest days. I think it was 135 degrees when I was there, and obviously you have to cover all your skin because the sun is so hot, you'll just get a sunburn and whatever. But it is the day that I remember making me sensitive to extreme heat. I wore my OTV, my armored vest, and it has ammo pouches on it. Obviously, I wasn't carrying ammo, but I was carrying camera equipment, recording equipment, and then I kept a pouch on my vest empty. And when we would go in the chow hall before we would go out on convoys and stuff, I would fill it with sugary fruit, like plums and apples, things that I could eat one-handed, that I could have on me, because you were burning so many calories just sweating, sitting there. I mean, the air conditioning in the trucks, the Humvees, I mean, it was refreshing because it was 135 degrees outside in the sun, and maybe it was 100 degrees in the truck. So it's all relative, where you feel cool because it's not 135 and you're in the shade, but it's 100. And that's about as nice as the air conditioning was. But it's a dry heat, David said. Yeah, like the oven is when you're baking brownies, a dry heat. And that day I got heat stroke. And I had taken the recording, the video camera that I had out of my pouch, and I was videotaping the parade grounds. And one of the guys that I was embedded with noticed that my hand was literally trembling, and I was trying to videotape, and I didn't even realize I was shaking. And it's because I was dehydrated and I was about to pass out. And they had always asked me, like, ma'am, what color is your urine? Did you move your bowels today? Which, you can't be shy about pooping when you're embedded with units in Iraq and Afghanistan, because those are symptoms of dehydration. If you're not going to the bathroom, and if your pee is like bright nuclear yellow, you are dehydrated. And then you become an even more of a liability. So they're constantly asking you to drink water, and constantly asking you if you've peed or pooped and what color your pee was and all of that. And one of the guys that I was with grabbed the camera out of my hand, and he was like, please don't make me stick you, because obviously the combat medics are ready to stick you with an IV or like whatever. So they sat me down in the shade and made me eat like 3 plums, and gave me a bunch of water and Gatorade to try and get my hydration back to where it belonged. And that was right after I took this picture. And I joke all the time that there are times where I looked like I'm not saying I was. There are times in my life that I have looked like a badass. And this is one of the days. I mean, come on. I was a total idiot, but I looked like a fucking badass. Hell yeah. And about 15 minutes later, I was trembling from dehydration in the shade of a Humvee, eating plums with my medic almost getting ready to stick me with an IV bag. But in this moment, I was a fucking badass. And ever since then, yes, Eric says there's signs in all the bathrooms. Steven says you got to hydrate. Ever since then, when it gets really hot outside, I'm more sensitive to extreme heat, even here in New England when it gets to be 95 degrees, than I ever was, because of this day wearing that giant helmet in Iraq. I love the picture too, Michael. I can't believe that it was almost 14 years ago, 13 and a half years ago. It kills me. Eric says, if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. Thank you for the bathroom etiquette rhymes. I just can't believe it was that long ago. And I just remember this day so vividly. There's some other pictures. If you go on the photo albums of this page and look up the Boston to Baghdad album, there's some other pictures from that day that they let me hold some of the guns. Like I had a saw. It was just, and then they let me go up into that pavilion and stand on that place where Saddam Hussein stood firing the gun. They let me stand up there and hold a gun. Like in this, it was really weird standing in a place where Saddam Hussein had stood that I had seen on the news. And then I found myself there. And that all happened that day. So all the pictures from the cross swords and the parade grounds and all of that stuff was all that very same day as this day right here. Just really cool. So my helmet that I saved and keep was what I wanted to show you from the war room today. All right, let's find us a drink recipe, shall we? Brianna says, any vets out there still drink a crazy amount of water out of habit? And they drink a crazy amount of beer, a lot of the ones that I know as well. Let's see. I did not pick a drink ahead of, I should have, but I didn't. All right. This is a drink you guys have heard of. You've probably had them, especially down in like New Orleans. The recipe for a hurricane. According to the New American Bartender's Handbook, an ounce of white rum, an ounce of dark rum, 2/3 of an ounce of triple sec, juice of 1 lime, 2/3 of an ounce of gomme syrup, 1/3 of an ounce of grenadine. Love me some grenadine. 3 ounces of fresh orange juice, 3 ounces of pineapple juice. Shake the ingredients, strain into an ice-filled highball glass, and serve. Hurricanes are delicious. I've had them in the Caribbean. I have never been to New Orleans. It is one on my bucket list to go down there. Stop skipping your homework. I know. Eric, you're right. Again, a drink with no dairy and no eggs. It's fantastic. Becky says beer has water. Yes, it does. And an eye of newt, Michael says. But there's also an alternative recipe that's listed underneath that says an ounce of dark rum, an ounce of white rum, a half an ounce of grenadine, 2 dashes of lime juice, shake the ingredients, and strain into a martini glass and serve. So there's a couple different recipes. I mean, I'm sure that there are a ton of hurricane recipes out there. They're delicious. I love them. So there you go. I drink those at the Hardback Cafe. Where is that exactly? Favorite drink of the Scorpions. Get it? It's a Scorpions rock you like a hurricane joke. I get it, Teddy. You're funny. I get it. Have we decided if we're going to do another Mocktails in the War Room on Tuesday and have another Temple Tuesday? Did we decide if we're going to do that or not? Can we take a little vote in the comments if we're going to do that? Because we need to plan. Take an E and drank water, soldier. Thank you very much. Hard Rock Cafe. I thought that's what you meant, Teddy. Damn, autocorrect got you again. So let me know. Are we doing Mocktails in the War Room Temple Tuesday for Shirley Temples on Tuesday? I'm getting a lot of yeses. Nobody's saying no. I'm not forcing you to participate, obviously. If you choose to have a cocktail on Temple Tuesday, you are right on ahead. But I just feel like it's a nice little gesture. And it also, at least we know one day a week we're not drinking, which is probably good for our livers. It would be nice to come out of all of this isolation, not 50 pounds overweight and total alcoholics and unhealthier than we were when we got in. Dave says no. David says sure. Temple Tuesday, please, it helps, says Eric. All right, I think we should do it. Mocktails in the War Room. Then we'll do it on Tuesday. See? Total democracy. Although, no matter how you guys voted, I could make the ultimate decision. I should get a crown. I'm the queen of this mofo. But we'll do it on Tuesday. I think it's nice to be somewhat inclusive and to give all of our livers a little bit of a break. Yes, Ron, I totally agree. Yes to Temple, says Christine. And Lou, yes. William says, yes, that way I can actually take part. No alcohol for 7 years for this guy. 1 vote for Temple Tuesday. William, it's people like you. That's exactly why we're doing it. We want you to be able to participate. And we don't want you to feel excluded because everybody is welcome in this little dysfunctional, weird-ass friggin' family we've got ourselves built here in the War Room. So, hell yeah. I don't have anything confirmed. I just want you guys to know that some of the things we talked about the other day, I made some phone calls to see if we could facilitate some of the discussions we've had. And I'm working on it. That's all I can tell you. But I'm working on it. Okay, guys. This rainy Sunday has come to an end. Tomorrow is Monday. For some people, it's back to work. For other people, it's Groundhog Day again. I did see something really fascinating. I saw a great meme because people keep talking about Groundhog Day. And the reason why the movie Groundhog Day, the reason why they finally stopped is because it took him repeating the same day over and over again and improving himself to go back to life as normal. And so I think that's a great metaphor. And I think that all of us can do what we can to take the time. Like I know, I was looking at The Rock's Instagram, and he was talking about like being able to slow his life down a little bit and being able to spend so much quality time with his family, how much he appreciates it. And so I think it's great that we all kind of just look at everything we have, be grateful for what we have. It's an awesome time to look around and see what you're wasting. Reach out to the friends that you maybe haven't had the time to reach out to in a while. Really value the friends and family and our loved ones right now. Get some work done around our houses. I can't wait to be able to grow a bunch of food and veggies and stuff and herbs in my garden. I just really want to, when it's finally kind of over, you know, I say this all the time, I want us all to be proud of how we all handled this, because this moment in time, this era of time, will be talked about and studied for generations. And so I want us all to, when you're talking to your grandkids or your own children, if you don't have them yet or whatever, that you're going to be proud of the stories of how you handled this crazy, chaotic, unprecedented time. So let's focus on that. Be positive. You guys are all amazing. However you're feeling is okay. If you're sad, it's all right, because you're not going to be sad forever. And if you're happy, enjoy it, because happiness doesn't last forever either. And you know, Madeline says, yeah, it feels good to slow down. Stephen says, this too shall pass. Yeah, exactly. So let's just all take stock in what we have, be grateful for what we have instead of focusing on all of the things we don't have. Let's just look around and be like, you know what, I have that and it's amazing and I'm super grateful for that. And obviously just know that you're valued and everything that you're feeling is normal and it's okay and it's not going to stay this way forever. And that you have a place that you can look forward to being in every night at 8:30, because everybody here loves you and I love all of you guys and you're the fucking best. So don't look anything weird, wash your damn hands, and be back here tomorrow night at 8:30 in the war room. All right? Good night, guys. I love you. Keep your head up. Wash your hands. Know that you're all awesome and that we have this special kind of little, we're almost like a cult, except we're not crazy. We're the normal ones. And if that doesn't scare the shit out of you, that all of us are the normal ones, then nothing will. All right, good night, guys. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.